Good day, my friends. Welcome to this, our meeting, as I, your exile from the American culture, speak to you again with the attempt, with the hope, with the dream, with the pipe dream, perhaps. The crazed idea that we get our you-know-what together and use this opportunity to be totally great, to stop being who we are. My friends, we are a country of wonderful people, I think, at heart. I kind of like us. I don't want to go anywhere else. I have no connection. I don't want to have any kind of dual citizenship or move to any other country. You notice the number of people who are in our American government who have dual citizenship? I'm just saying, but let's assume if you found out a number of people have French citizenship, where do you think their allegiance is going to be? My allegiance is here. Let me just make sure you understand. And I'm the reluctant parent who is, I think, forced to deal with a troublesome child, a kind of a spoiled child, a child who gets his feelings hurt, a child who doesn't really want to know reality. That's what I'm forced to deal with. With a group of people who are pseudo-intellects, or as my friend says, pseudo-intellects, one of my favorites, people who use the word, by the way, sometimes I tend to be priggish, I tend to be punctilious. I was listening today to a great piece from Alex Jones, who kept talking about the HB1 visa. Well, it's H1B, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. You think somebody would say, hey, stop saying that. I was listening to a great piece the other day from a young physicist. I told you her name is Angela Collier. She was talking about something, and she was talking about, instead of a contrarian, she was saying a contrarian. She also said the pyramids at Giza. Just little things like that. Things like that will drive me crazy. If I see somebody walking around with a piece of, let's say, shaving cream here, or if you've missed a belt loop, it'll drive me crazy. I believe a certain degree of order, but then again, I like a little bit of chaos. It's who I am. If you're going to do it right. If you're going to do it right. I live in a world of conflated, inflated, and deflated egos all at once. People who have delusions of grandeur, but incredible inferiority complex. Have you ever heard somebody who said, this is my favorite, and you'll read this. Ladies, let me ask you something. Have you ever heard this? You'd be surprised the number of people who can't believe how young I am. Have you heard this before? You ever heard this? That's my favorite. I can't believe you wouldn't believe how many people think that my daughter and I are sisters. You can't believe it. You can't believe how men are attracted to me. You can't believe this. And I hear this more from women. It's the scariest thing in the world. Do I look good in this? How do I look? Be honest. How do I look? Have you heard this? This is who we are. Not how do I think? Do I sound okay to you? Do I sound smart? Seriously, be honest. When you hear me speak for the first time, do I act like I know what I'm talking about? Do you think I know what I'm talking about? Anybody ever say that? Nope. You'll never find it. Not in this country. No, not here. Do I make any sense to you? Would you consider me a smart person? Nobody interested. Nobody. It never even rises to the occasion. There is no interest whatsoever. This is who we are. This is my theme. This is it. This is it. Instead of us talking about this, we're talking about other stuff. But again, I love our people, but I've been here my whole life, and I've been used to this the whole life, our whole time. And we have these new people these new folks, and I kind of like them in many respects because they add a little particular degree of flavor. And I think it's wonderful. I love more than anything else the fact that we have these platforms for people to opine and think and the like, but they say absolutely nothing. You see, The Democrats are so smart. They stick together like you cannot believe. Not the Republicans. No, you have each one trying to break away. I heard somebody say, they actually quoted Matt Gaetz, that pervert, that degenerate, a guy who, don't be surprised if they're not hanging. This guy really has got some real, and I knew this, but people didn't, I don't know, they didn't care. But he's actually weighing in on Elon Musk. This guy, you're comparing, you're on Elon Musk, Matt Gaetz. These are the same people who like Andrew Tate because he gives these ridiculous, I guess, these inflated, convoluted theories on what being a man means. That's my favorite. This guy, you know the story behind him? No, of course not. This is where we are today. They have people trying to get so much, they're trying to get ahead by saying, what can I do to get my name in the trending? Oh, I know. I'll trash President Trump. I'll trash Elon. I'll trash somebody. Ann Coulter's done this. Ann Coulter's whole thing is that I don't like Trump. Trump's this, Trump let us down, Trump. Okay. But the shtick ultimately wears thin. This is where we are today. Good luck. And by the way, good luck trying to explain this to people because they don't understand it. It's our American culture. It's our American culture. It's who we are. This great epicenter of genius, productivity, creativity. We are, hands down, popular music. Well, music. Nobody touches us. Nobody. Historically, maybe not. I don't know about now, but no. Nope. Thank God we didn't have any problem in the old days in granting H-1B visas to the Beatles, the Stones. We'd have a hard time with Mozart. We want to stick with homegrown stuff like Cardi B and old fat stupid bastard, or whatever his name. I don't even know these names. Thank God. Thank God we didn't worry about issuing H-1B visas to the greatest chefs in the world, conductors, how do I say this? Movie producers. We treat Roman Polanski like he is public enemy number one, and he's a dirtbag, as is Woody Allen, as is half of Hollywood. But Roman Polanski, no, that guy, okay. But everybody else we know. But he is an absolute, he's a genius. Stanley Kubrick had to leave here, whatever it is. And one of the ridiculous notions that we cannot get our hands around is there's this wonderful idea of being universal and being globalist in the good way. Global meaning adapting, appreciating, extending, absorbing. You know, that's a good thing. Versus ceding our jurisdiction to other people. Try explaining this to people. You can't do it. No, there is no, I swear to God, if you walked out to a group of people, you walked into a Fox or CPAC crowd, they'll look at you like, what is he saying? Because that's not it. We live in a Manichaean black and white, apodictic, left and right, up or down. This is it. Up, yin yang, up. That's it. That's where we are today. And we are in the precipice of greatness. We can do it. We can absolutely do it. Forge ahead. Do not listen to the detractors. Do not listen to those people who, I don't know what their purpose is. But we prayed and thought and begged and, oh my God, prayed for Donald Trump. We couldn't imagine what would it be like if that idiot were somehow president. Dear God Almighty, what would we have done? Dear God. And then we get it. He wins, and some people aren't happy. Well, because they're jealous. Now, let me tell you something. Remember, the people who yell the loudest against the president are those who are not in the inner circle. The ones who for a long time have said, I'm not going to make a big deal, but get out. I'm not going to make, but we're done. Those are the people who sit back yelling the loudest, claiming that they've got some connection, some appreciation for MAGA or MAGA, depending upon where you're from, and others don't. Watch those folks. Those are the ones you got to really pay attention to. I've got a lot of great stuff today. But first, my friends, a very serious word from a very serious and important sponsor. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even help negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Let's start off with something on a lighter note before we get into the serious, heavy lifting of all that is required. Let's try something right now. This I found absolutely interesting for no particular reason, then it's just interesting. This is a group of people. Let me see. This is Italian singer Adriano Celentano. Released something called Prison cholinensinine QSL. This is a 1972 kind of a song with double talk, photo rap, gibberish lyrics that sounded sort of like English. It's brilliant. And it's performed by Celentano and Raffaella Carrà. And it's so interesting for no other reason. And this is how a lot of stuff sounds like to me, but listen to the genius of this. Remember, this is not English. This is what people think. There's time with it, obviously, but I just found that fascinating. This is what it sounds like to people. This is what it sounds like. It's the most fascinating thing in the world. I find that interesting for reasons I don't know why. Because I love the language and I love the way things sound and how, I guess it sounds interesting maybe to us, okay? It's fascinating. Now, there's no particular reason. That's just kind of a miscellaneous thing. Let's also talk about more of the American culture. By the way, today we're going to talk about, we finally know exactly what the New Jersey drone attack was about, which is really nothing. But remember how we just stopped talking about that. Also, did you hear how there was another man incinerated on an escalator? Another person caught on fire? Did you see that? Part of the American culture. This great culture of ours. Oh, we're fantastic. I'm just overwhelmed with this, overwhelmed at who we are. Yesterday, we're coming back on 34th Street. We're driving towards the West Side Highway, and there was a man on the side, basically, shall I say, relieving himself, but not the way you think. Right there on the side of the road. I thought, American culture. Wonderful, wonderful. It's the most important thing in the world for you to grasp. This is what we're talking. This is what we're fighting about. We love this. We have this thing about we don't want foreigners. Okay, listen, I got no problem with that. But what are we going to do to fix who we are right now? I don't know. I wish we had something called exile. Let me tell you who we are, okay? This is who we are. This is what we do and what we promulgate, and which social media actually promotes.
What the fuck? Bitch! You
By the way, you think this guy's an engineer? Let me ask you something. Do you think there's any country who would be asking him, can you come work for us? We want to send some recruiting out. Could you come work for us? We have this lab out here in Argentina. We're really interested with your credentials and your wherewithal. This is who we are. This is, I mean, and don't think this is just some rarity. Oh, no, it's not.
I'm scared to go to sleep.
I don't know what this is. I have no idea what she's saying. I think it's a she.
I wake up a motherfucking slave.
I'm sorry. Then there's this one. This is one of my favorites. This is, of course, our means of, this is our opera bouffe. This is our, symphony. This is sitting in our car screaming.
No! Why?
Now, we don't want somebody from another country. We don't want some Chinese, God forbid, some French, some German astrophysicist, particle physicist, engineer, scientist. We don't want them. No. We want this lady to be, she'll pick up the slack. You know, she's great with plasma pheresis.
This is all pray. Like we're just gonna wake up tomorrow morning and everything's gonna go back.
This is who we are. This is our future, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Steve Bannon's fighting for. This is where Elon Musk is wrong. Elon Musk is crazy. Vivek Ramaswamy, I don't know what he's talking about. What do you mean we live in a society that puts more emphasis on whatever it is versus math Olympiad? We're brave, we're great, we're America with the American culture. Look how bright, how smart. This is the youth. This is the fruit of the future.
Back to the way it'll be a psych. It'll be like a really bad dream, and none of this. All I can say.
Look at this one.
How fucking.
This is a woman who does super singing. This at least, I'm going to put my mental illness and set it to music. This is who we are, ladies and gentlemen. When you started walking, that's my life. There we go. This is good, yeah. And then there's this guy. One more time. Imagine you walking in and you need a valve replacement. You've got some kind of a myocardial prolapse. And this is your doctor. I don't think so. So remember, my friends, you keep it up, Bannon and Laura Loomer. God bless you. Just talk about, we don't want them foreigners in here. And listen, let me say this again, because people, remember, it's either one or the other. You can't say, whoa, wait a minute. Take it easy with some of these visas. I think you're just giving them to people who are, they're just cheap labor. I understand that. We're talking about this, right? You understand this? You understand this? This is the problem that we need to discuss. Now, let me ask you this. This is important. Imagine trying to find this, and you're recruiting a team in the United States like this. These are Chinese children, little girls at a table tennis camp or demonstration. Now people can say that's AI. Right. See, the problem is we have people in our country and others as well who can't even make grasp things because for the longest time they've been using devices. That's the problem. And people are fighting us. When you try to tell them, remember, they don't like this. They don't like this. They will. We live in a world where we are producing contrarians, not contrarians, but contrarians who just fight you. Oh, what are you saying? Are you suggesting, do you think what ping pong? Is that it? Is that what you're saying? Is that they just fight you on this? So what's wrong? So you're saying so we're all going to be physicists? Is that it? There's nobody to mow our lawns. They're just going to fight you. They don't. It's not that they find disfavor with what you're saying. They just fight you. These are Americans. Not commies. Americans here because we're fight to sit back and just argue. I don't like this. Trump let me down here. You made a mistake with this. You said you were going to do this. Why'd you pick him? Never satisfied. Meanwhile, Democrats always happy. We're miserable. We got a bunch of big mouth know-it-alls. I don't say we, but on the Republican side, and I don't know what they want. I don't know what do you want? What do you suggest? I don't have any suggestions. I just want to bitch and moan and complain. Okay. All right. But what can we do to fix? I don't know. Now, let me show you something. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. This is the guy everybody's jumping on. This guy.
To do is to be useful, to have high utility under the curve. How much help did you provide to each person on average, and then how many people did you help? The total utility. Trying to actually ship useful product that people like to a large number of people is so insanely hard. It boggles the mind. That's why I can say, man, there's a hell of a difference between a company that has shipped product and one that has not shipped product. This is night and day. And then even once you ship product, can you make the value of the output worth more than the cost of the input, which is, again, insanely difficult, especially with hardware.
Now, the thing is, remember, this is the idea. This is the finding. Did you tell her, did you say that Laura Loomer can't say something? Did you censor her on X? Now, granted, censorship is a terrible thing. This is it. Americans love to bitch. I was talking to somebody the other day who she works at a big chain. I'm not going to mention the chain. She is kind of in the managerial division, and people just don't show up. They don't show up. They have this. They open up the store, they go to the mall, or they lift the gate, and they say, "Where's so and so?" Oh, she's not coming in today. She's not coming in. What do you mean? What do you mean? She's just not coming in. She's not coming in. No. Well, why? I don't know. This is working at a mall. We're not talking about, Paris Island or, SEAL Team 6. We're talking about going to like I don't know, whatever the particular store is. A Gap, if they even have those. I don't know. But the point is, people don't do this. Now, this is a guy who I think he's pretty good. He's extremely full of himself. Never says anything that brilliant. I know you love him to death. Watch his interview with John Gotti Jr. And thank God John Gotti Jr. spoke, because when this guy interrupts, it's derailed. But anyway, he brings up some very good stats here. Listen to this.
New statistics. Do you know what % of Gen Z workers claim they experience burnout at work?
I get scheduled for 25 hours a week. I'm literally about to quit.
Not 20%, not 40%, not 80%, not 90%. 98% of you experience burnout.
Every single day, go and work somewhere and do that 5 times a week?
How? You're in your early 20s. Watch this. 23% face unmanageable stress, and 48% feel drained. According to a Cigna survey, Gen Z is the most stressed generation of all time. And by the way, according to 1,000 leaders that are hiring people out there, watch what they said. This is employers talking about Gen Zers. 6 in 10 employers reporting firing recent Gen Z college graduates within months of hiring them. 1 in 7 employers indicated they may refrain from hiring new graduates next year's unsatisfactory performance.
Now, remember, when you do this, when you do what I'm telling you right now, what do you think people are going to say? Are they going to say, you're right about this? No, we got to say something about him. Who? Me? Me? You got to say something about me. What am I doing? Quit talking about us. Quit talking about, this is the way we are. It's the contrarian. Throw something, throw an egg, just don't listen to this. Just bitch, moan, complain, not listen. I want this guy. I have these dreams, see, of Donald Trump making incredible headway. And I hope that as we speak, there's this evil, diabolical plan of people who are going to run the show. We're going to change everything. I don't pray, but if I did, I would pray for him. This is what I want. This is my thing. I don't want people to be behind him. I want people to be behind him like the Democrats are behind the Democrats. Let me ask you something. Let me ask you, why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why do you think the Republicans, and I'm going to use these terms, okay? Why do you think these Republicans are like this? What is it? Spandex says, rise and fall of nations, 250-year cycle, 7 stages of collapse. We are near the end. We've always been near the end. Thank you, Spandex. But we've been saying we've been near the end for, maybe the end of what? I don't know. Maybe the end of a cycle. Why do you think Republicans, why do you think Republicans just love to bitch about Trump, Republicans, conservatives? Bannon screams about this one screams about that one, Candace Owens screams about this one. They're just always screaming and yelling. Alex Jones is this, he's no good. Why do you think the Republicans took such great with Kevin McCarthy? They loved it. Let's throw him out. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene, we don't like you. You're full of it. Boebert's yelling at this one. Democrats don't do that. Why do you think that is? Tell me. Answer that question. Answer that question. Now answer the question and don't just say something. They are also on the take. I don't know what that means. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why? Why do you think the Republicans are always getting mad at Republicans? You just won. So now that there's no more Democrats, we turn on ourselves. I say ourselves. I'm not a Republican, but why do you think that is? Why? They want to rile us up, super spoiled. I don't know what this means, but you maybe you're onto something. Always in a cycle, so to speak. Answer my question. Why right now, even as people are going to be listening to this later on, why is it that Republicans hate Republicans and always are complaining? Democrats don't do this. Why don't you think? Human nature, question mark? Democrats don't do this. You hear what I just said? Democrats don't do it. Democrats stick together. Why do you think that is? Democrats go and they knock on doors. Why do you think that is? Why? The closest thing we'll do is some people will go and they'll say, well, they'll go to a Trump rally. Proud to be an American. Okay, fine. But now, what do you think this is? There's always somebody who says, okay, Trump won. Well, I can't be for Trump. It's the and culture thing. My job is to be royally pissed off. Who are the, let me ask you something. Who is the Democratic or liberal commentator who is the Steve Bannon or Laura Loomer? Who? None. 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 Nobody. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Why? Nobody can really answer. No. Again, now here's something. What does this mean? Joy Reid. Joy Reid what? Jen Psaki. Jen Psaki what? Not only do we not know, we don't even communicate. We're here in a kind of a discussion group, and I don't even know what you're saying. So we got one group that's angry, and the people who do speak almost seem to be having a conversation with themselves. What is the why? Let me try this again. This is important. Why don't Republicans show that same kind of a fealty, fidelity, esprit de corps that Democrats do? Why? 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 I don't understand here. We don't know. That's the issue. Trashman says, we're afraid to speak here. You're not. Read what's going on. It's like these are the bravest, scared people I've ever seen in my life. We live in a world of incomprehensible gibberish. We don't understand. We've never thought about this. We don't know what to think. We don't know how to think. We don't know what the worldview is. We don't know what the plan is. We don't know what's the battle plan. Where are we going? What's the end game? What's the 5, 10, 25-year plan? What does it mean to be a Republican? I don't know. What does it mean? I don't know. What does it mean? We have this idea of what? That's the issue. Now, let me go back to a couple of things here. First, do you understand? And by the way, it's not, I don't know. The thing I love the most, do you know what I loved about the drone story? Democrats and Republicans thought the same thing. Democrats and Republicans thought the same thing. They were saying, what is this? What's going on? What's this thing about? What is it? Did you see those drones? What do you think it is? I said, this is great. And the reason why it's great, seriously, the reason why is because for the first time, we all are on the same page. Yeah, let's go. And what happened? Nothing. It just went away. It's the only time, think about it, Democrats and Republicans actually got along for the first time. It was the most important story there was. The most important. And they said, oh, okay. I promise you, I will bet a digit of a finger, a thumb, anything. The majority of people, left, right, Americans, the American culture, never even investigated it. Never looked it up. We have this thing called the internets. It's this wonderful thing. You can find, it's used for the most stupid stuff you can imagine. And I thought, this is that classic Ronald Reagan. Remember him? He would say aliens. He couldn't say alien. He said aliens. The aliens. And one day, he said this at the UN. He said, I believe that one day maybe we'll be able to get together and put our differences aside and work together and to find out what the aliens, what is the aliens? And I thought the idea was interesting. And the whole notion we also talked about Orson Welles, to an extent, H.G. Wells. Do you think that maybe one day if we were attacked by something that we would put our differences? What I learned, left, right, middle, center, was like this. Huh? You seen that about the drones? Yeah, wasn't that something? I know. Nah. You ever find out what it was? I don't know. Dude, bruh. Literally, bruh. I looked outside, bruh, and they were like drones. Bruh, what are these drones? I don't know. What do you know? Do you know what they are? No. Did they ever find out what they are? No. Huh. Yeah. You see those drones? I sure did. Huh. That's it. That's it. That said it all. And then we have our group. Here's what our group does. Well, that was Operation Jacob's Ladder. What? That was Operation Bluebeam. Bluebeam. Bluebeam was a hologram. Oh, whatever. That was a psyop. That was HARP. That was a. What does that mean? I don't know. Well, why do you say that? I don't know. But that's not Bluebeam. Well, whatever. What do you mean, whatever? Well, I don't know. I saw that name. I thought it was a cool name. I thought it was great. This is where we are. This is our American culture. Listen to me. People don't like it. They hate this stuff. They're absolutely right. Everything about this. What do you think is going to... Do you know the challenges? Oh my God, I was thinking to myself, I was watching today. Something on Syria. And it's kind of like a composite. And I realized, I'm not even going to talk about it. Don't even bother talking about this. And I thought to myself, if I had a button, and every time if you played this for people, and they said, I don't know what you're talking about. Every time you'd hit that button, I swear to God, I'd be hitting that button the whole bit. When you explain to people, do you know what the Syria thing is about? I don't know. He's a bad guy. And this, by the way, most people say, I don't even know what you're talking about. What about Syria? You know, Bashar al-Assad, I don't know what you're talking about. The Alawites, dude, bruh, literally, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I love these people now. They say, I want to go. This is my favorite. I want to go to the inauguration. Are you out of your mind? You want to go to the inauguration? Yeah. Do you know anybody who's going to take? Do you know they're charging like 10 grand for people who were the big? What do you want to go to the inauguration for? I mean, it's okay. It's history. It's an important thing. But what do you want to go? It's the same group of people who want to go to a rally. It's something they can understand. They kind of grasp it. You know, they've got this, and it's a White House, and the Capitol, and we got the people, and you're not going to say anything. But anyway, I kind of like it. You're going to want to go to the what? To the what? Let me tell you something right now. The best news. And this is something which is so wonderful and so great. And I want everybody to understand this greatly. In what I hope is considered a groundbreaking legal battle, over 100 pleas of January 6th political prisoners came together and have come together to file, good luck, what is being hailed and heralded and thought of as the largest lawsuit ever against the Department of Justice. Officially named the January Restitution and Wrongful Incarceration lawsuit, this $50 billion plus class action is spearheaded by Jake Lang, a January 6th prisoner who has been incarcerated for nearly 4 years. You hear that? There's through his new organization, the Federal Watchdog, the Anti-Lawfare Group is joined by an esteemed number of conservative lawyers, including Stephen Metcalf, Anthony Sabatini, Stephanie Lambert, and Jonathan Gross. And together, they aim to, I hope, shed light on and expose the injustices, the horrors, the inequities faced by J6 prisoners and those who have been unfairly, illegally, and unlawfully detained. And they need restitution. This is a fight for justice. This is the most important thing in the world. This is, and here's the best part. Now you're going to love this one. You're going to love this, okay? I cannot tell you how critical this is. I cannot tell you. And I think a lot of us say, yeah. But here's the idea. Would you promise me that you won't lose interest in this? Probably not. Remember that guy Epps? Whatever happened to him? I don't know. It's a typical thing. Whatever. That's our thing. I want to be an American. Okay. What phrase should I learn? The F word? No. The S word? No. Learn this phrase. Whatever happened? Did they ever get to Ashley Babbitt? Whatever happened to Ashley Babbitt? You remember the one she shot and killed her for me? No. Oh. Whatever happened to the drones? You ever figure out what happened to the drones? No, okay. Whatever happened to that guy in Las Vegas? Remember the guy panicked and climbed them and they go. That's our middle name. Gore Vidal said, the United States of Amnesia. They have got to teach these people a lesson. We have to march. We have to go crazy. You have to go online. You have to form an X account. I gotta do what? You gotta have an X account. That's okay, dude. Bro, literally, I'll just sit back. What do we have? Yeah, January 6th. Yeah. That's as good as it gets. That's it. I'll give you a yeah. Okay. Now here's a question. They're asking a lot of times. How many federal agents were there that day? How many federal agents were there that day? Somebody writes, Ashley was killed, but not at the Capitol. Somebody see if this man's driving. Okay. People just say stuff. Doesn't matter. Why do you think it matters? Or does it matter that there were feds in the audience? What do you think? What difference does it matter? Let's assume there were 500 undercover federal agents. What does it matter? Now, this is going to be good. Now, I'm going to read some of these. In case later on you're saying, I'm driving right now. I'm going to read some of the live responses. Okay. Agents of Doom. I don't know what that means. Somebody writes, a window is not a legal point of entry for a building. I don't know what that means. Okay. Strategically placed. Why does that matter? Ladies and gentlemen, you're in trial court says, counselor, what relevance does this have? What do you plan to show? Okay, again, somebody says they had feds there all the time. Okay, what does it mean? Agent provocateur? No. Do you think they were there provoking? Now, it's one thing to have somebody who says, come on. Now, that Epps guy, that's interesting. That's a guy that I want to know. Come on. That is as an agent provocateur as you can possibly get. Let me give you your name there. But assuming that, what do you think it matters? What does it matter? Because the agents know what happened? Okay. We know what happened. So they were there. So are you saying you want to subpoena them to this? What does it matter? Marcus Aurelius says, I've been calling Elon Musk and Manuel Goldstein for some time now. The left thrives on their 2 minutes of hate sessions. Okay. Thank you. What does it matter? It doesn't matter at all. They didn't get to go to jail. Again, what does this matter? I don't know. Do you know how many times there are agents at everything from the DNC to the Madison Square Garden to Woodstock to an Amway convention to the NFL to the Super Bowl? Do you know how many undercover agents there are at so many events? DHS, everything you can imagine. Do you have any idea? It happens all the time. Capitol instigators Capitol Police guided instigators into the White House? Into the White House? What the hell's going on here? Do you remember what happened? What are you talking about? show intent to commit sedition. Who commits sedition? Nobody was charged with sedition. Nobody was charged. Nobody was charged with it. Nobody knew. This is the most important thing in the world. What does it matter? What difference does it make? What does it matter? You've got to show that there was a plan that the Department of Justice either and I am 100% behind this, that the Department of Justice somehow repeatedly, absolutely, positively was responsible for depriving Americans of their rights, their civil rights, their constitutional rights, their freedom of assembly, First Amendment rights, and that there was a concerted effort to target them, where they were taken, they were put under the jail in some DC basement gulag somewhere, some star chamber facility, deprived of their constitutional rights in a deliberate, calculated conspiracy to deprive those individuals because they dared to speak selective prosecution against President Trump. And they posed no threat whatsoever, not insurrection, not sedition, not anything. They posed no threat. Again, it was not a false flag operation. It was not false flag. There were people, the people that were arrested were not feds acting like. The issue is, we've got to get our terminology. False flag is when we present, there were people obviously there. And by the way, let me just go on the record. The people who did this, the people who decided to stand there with flags, were assholes. These are people I have nothing to do with. These are the people who say, I want to wear 7076 and the Gadsden flag, or we're going to wear camis and iPad. Well, maybe the iPads can help. And flags, and yeah, and the blood of 77. And Alex, God love him, does this stuff. This is crazy talk. This is nuts. This is crazy talk. It sounds great. You may like it. It's nuts. You don't need to do that. You don't need that. You're playing into the hands. Why do I don't care what they think. Okay, fine. Okay. Now remember, the left doesn't care what they think during BLM either. So they got, but they're at least, and the difference between left and right, the right has at least a message. They're not there to break into a liquor store. The left is a bunch of thugs, punks, savages, people who are just basically miscreants who use BLM as an excuse to take stuff. Looting, there's two things. I told you, auto mourn. Auto mourn is this kind of a weird atavistic reflex people go through whenever something goes, whenever somebody dies. Oh my God, no words. Oh God. Greg Gumbel. I'm sorry, I don't mean to mock him, but people were saying, oh, Greg Gumbel. Did you know Greg Gumbel? I'm not mad, but say, you act like this is the end of the Greg Gumbel. I saw one time when Sonny Bono died. They act like it was like the music died. I mean, imagine if Clapton died. It's just auto mourn. And we see it all the time here where people go through this stuff, especially on Facebook, and they say, look at me. Here I am. Look, I'm with Grandpa, Munster, and what? Oh, I knew him. I knew Chuck Barrett. What? They always have pictures. They love to say no words and my loss. Okay, that's auto mourn. That's somebody you don't even know, but everybody reacts over the top. Now, auto loot is interesting. That's whenever there is a decline of order, whenever there is a degradation or a cessation or an interruption of law and order, something kicks in, and the first thing folks will do is loot, steal, ding, 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 ding. What is it? Go, liquor store, go. It's never like, let's storm the library. What? No, liquor stores, Chanel stores, Louis Vuitton, Fifth Avenue. Go to the malls, CVS, go to this, Sephora, go, go, go. What does this have to do with George Floyd? Nothing. Go. Auto mourn, auto loot. This is a joke. January 6th, people weren't looting. They were there because they really were upset. They really were there for one reason and one reason only, to expect. They didn't want to break anything, steal anything, damage anything. That wasn't their thing. Now, some, of course, go crazy because whenever you put people together, the idea of scaling the wall and you actually think you're walking onto the floor of the house and you're sitting with your feet up on the. Do you think that was good? Do you think that's respectful? You for that? That helps our cause, doesn't it? Yeah. Some guy dressed like with a Valkyrie helmet, looking like he's got the Sonny Bono, speaking of that thing and the paint, and you look crazy. Why don't you just have a sign that says, I'm crazy? Now, the George Floyd, the BLMers will say, we don't give a damn about this. We're here to loot. We don't give a shit about George Floyd. You can't even spell George Floyd. I don't know who George Floyd is. It means nothing to us. It's an excuse. We're here to loot. What'd you get? There's the Coach store. Oh, there's a Coach store around here? Oh, we got to go there. What'd you got? I got Louis Vuitton, Chanel. It's going to be hard. Is this, you like Chanel? How about Nike store? We got that. That's what it's about. It's about looting. It's about stealing. It's nothing to do with civil rights. Nothing. There's no coordinated marches. The only people who did the coordinated march nonsense was Nancy Pelosi with the kente cloth with poor Jerry. Jerry Nadler says, Jerry, we're going to kneel. You're the hell we are. If I kneel, I'll never get up. So that's where we are. We live in a joke. It's a theater of just joke. But January 6th, say what you want. They were there because they were serious about it. And whether it was warranted or not, whether they wanted to certify the vote, whether Mike Pence is a traitor, they're legit. So what difference does it make whether there's federal? It didn't matter. It doesn't make any difference. But I hope they take the DOJ for everything. I hope it is the landmark case. You can't do that to American people. This is the difference. This is the difference. The right, when they protest, they're legit. Now, they may be full of it. They may, whatever it is. But they really, honestly believe in this thing called America. On the left, they don't believe in America. They don't believe in anything. They don't believe in anything. They believe in things like themselves, how they can manifest some particular idiosyncratic thought themselves, about their gender or their anxiety or whatever it is. The left are horrible. The right, we have a chance. We've got people who are motivated by sincerity, but a lot of them are full of it, and a lot of them are basically into it just for their own glory. That's all they want to do. They're trying to get to as much social media coverage as you can. I want to be the next Joe Rogan. Get out of the way. I'm going to do what I have to do. And if it's going after Trump or Elon or cannibalizing each other, I don't care what it is. I want to be the voice. I will not. And the problem is that people like Bannon, as good as you think he is, he's fringe. He's not really. People think, and would you wear another jacket? I'll bet you that thing stands up by itself. I'll bet you could call that jacket and it will come. It probably, by virtue of all the dead skin cells, is probably regenerated into a life form. Now, speaking of life forms regenerating, I'm going to tell you something which is very important. And that is two things. My great friend and yours, this guy, if you want to really protest, you go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel, and you say, I'm going to show you. I want that to be, and by the way, American made, American makers, American everything, America, 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 America. It should make you happy. It's great and it's terrific and it makes me happy too. Great product, great people, great person. Mike Lindell. MyPillow.com, promo code Lionel. And one more thing. One of these days, I'm telling you, I don't know what it's going to be. It could be 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. When the stores close, because of alien invasion, drones, strikes, supply chain, who knows when it happens, and you're not able to go to the store, and you say, it's like 2 days. What do we got? Got pasta shells. Okay, what else we got? Should have gone to preparewithlionel.com. I know. I just always thought the stores will be open. Oh, they'll open up again. It's been a week. Kids are going crazy. I went to the Quickie Pep. There's nothing even there unless you want some Slim Jim and a Slurpee. There's nothing there. I don't know what people need. Maybe a golden invitation. Maybe. All I know is this is serious business. Period. End of discussion. Now, I want you to understand something, dear friends. Maybe you're confused about something. This is the most important thing in the world. We need to use this time and to mobilize. Number one, stop fighting each other. Stop fighting. Stop this. The Democrats don't fight. Democrats don't care. AOC won't even turn against Nancy Pelosi. Even there. Not the Republicans. MTG against McCarthy. And you got Matt Gaetz against this one. And this one screaming up this one. You got Lauren Boebert doesn't like this one. You got Liz. Oh, God. Liz Cheney, that rat bastard. That one. You got this. Horrible. Horrible. And President Trump says, remember, I won. Can you give me I haven't even been inaugurated yet. Would you give me at least, I don't know, a month before you start trashing? Please. Elon Musk handed the presidency to President Trump. Don't think we did it. I mean, we did it. We voted. But there were so many new people who said, maybe this guy is cool. And Joe Rogan and others. Don't think for a moment. And the Amish and Scott Pressler. Remember who we need these people. What did Steve Bannon do? I'm not saying he's a bad guy. Did Steve Bannon open up new areas? No. It's the same group. It's the same group. Steve Bannon, he talked, okay, fine. Again, God bless him. When Elon Musk made this thing cool, oh my God, all of a sudden, people from all over the world are saying, can we help? Can we help? How many millions do you want for your inauguration? Did Bannon do that? No. Did Laura Loomer do that? No. Did Ann Coulter do that? No. Again, nice people. But before you completely piss off the people who brought us to the dance, ask yourself the question, what are you doing? And you got to ask yourself this one question. Why is it that the Republicans love to eat their own? It's cannibalism. Always pissed off at them. Well, the left, yeah. Certainly they hate this, hate that. So listen, it's up to us. You know what I'm saying? Trump is saying, I can't believe what's going on here. I cannot believe. I'm not even in yet. Everybody is swarming in. They can't wait to go to Mar-a-Lago. And who do you think is that? Because of what? The chance to meet, Steve Bannon? No. What is going on here? And the left plays this. Well, there's trouble in MAGA. Well, apparently they're not getting along. Well, apparently they're pissed off at each other. Wait a minute. No, we're not. Oh, yes, we are. Wait a minute. No. I want to see Tom Homan do the greatest job ever. I want there to be. Remember, illegal aliens. Yeah, stop. You with a machete. Stop. You're under arrest. Elon, you got a problem with this? No. Vivek? Of course not. Okay, into the truck. What do you think they're talking about? You think Vivek Ramaswamy said, wait. We do need that machete wielding jungle Central American Venezuelan contingent. You know, these wild eyes. No. I cannot wait for that. I cannot wait to see these white trucks just like going like these caravans. Aerial views. What are they doing? They're all with armed guards where we have Humvees and MRAPs and all these trucks following these long caravans to the border. See ya. You came in through Mexico, you go out through Mexico. Mexico didn't do a goddamn thing keeping them out. Try coming back in. And by the way, every one of them, look in here. What is that? It's an iris scanner. Biometrics. Right, Elon? Right, that? Yeah. And I know Peter Thiel, and I understand, and I know. But again, there's Steve Bannon. with his jacket. Okay, you're right. So everybody, you come back again, we know who you are. We got you tagged. Tag them and bag them. Get rid of them. Everybody biometrically marked. Come back again, we know who you are. We know who you are. Whatever it is, whatever it's done. And to have people think, damn, Georgia Maloney, everybody loves this. Melee, everybody is watching us. Everybody. Nobody, Tom Holman, nobody said, Tom, yeah, come here. Can I ask you a question here? Listen, Tom, you know that business we talked about, securing the border? Well, Elon doesn't believe that. That was, no. They're saying, Tom, go, what do you need? But make sure you tag them. Make sure you mark them. Make sure you do biometrics, iris scans, fingerprints, but who knows? They could lose an arm or something. But the point I'm saying is, pay attention. Stop fighting. Stop fighting. We won. The left is sitting back like this. They're eating their own. Look at this. And do me a favor. Your job is not to be the contrarian or the contrarian who just spews and farts and belches things out all day. That's not dialogue. That's not social intercourse. That's not any. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. What is that? What do you call that? I don't know. That's Hillary Clinton. Don't forget that. Uma Thurman, the Rothschilds, and the Zionists. And I don't know what that is either. I have no earthly idea. None. I have no clue as to what we're accomplishing with it. Focus on this. And that means you got to start reading. And I'll bet you, another thing, you got to vote, and you have to have, listen, with all this stuff about X, I understand. Nothing's perfect, but dear God, this is the greatest. You have the easiest. You don't even have, I know people say, I don't want to start a YouTube channel. I gotta get a guy. I don't know. What do I say? Okay, fine, phone. Oh, here we go. What about this? Here's a phone. You got your phone? Yeah. Okay. We're going to set up your X channel. I don't want to do an X channel. I got to move my finger. Yes, you have to move a finger. Or maybe you can talk to it. Okay, give me a name. How about a name? I don't know. Patriot. Okay, good. That's your name. Okay. Now, here's a thumbnail. I haven't put a thumbnail for you. Okay, like that, Patriot? Okay, it's free. Okay, there. Here you go. Here's your chance to speak to the world. See that? That's President Biden. Here, talk to him. Now, he's not going to answer you, but talk to him. What? Talk to him. Hit respond. Talk to him. Talk to the White House. You can do it. Don't say anything stupid, but I mean, this is the greatest thing in the world. My parents was, you mean I can really do this? Yeah. And here's the best thing, Mom and Dad. There are people who won't do it because this is too much work. I'll look at my TikTok and look at that. It's a cat playing a piano. That's great. Oh, look at that. Oh, here's another one. But this I can't do. Thoughts, comments, research. I read an interesting article today, basically. Well, they showed the reading schedule of the 1883 Harvard entrance class. I think I'm going to forward that. What do you dream on? What are you dreaming? No, I'm not going to say that. Okay, LOL. How about this? How about just like something? You want to like something? Just like something. What do I got to do? Well, you read something. I got to read it? I don't read. Well, you're going to read. You got to read. I just want things moving. That's one of the reasons why kids can't read it, because they can't track. Okay, I got to read this? You got to read it. What? What am I going to read? Well, don't you want to read about the January 6th? The what? The January 6th. What about January? Oh, forget it. Here's an airline crash. Like the airline crash? Oh, that's good. Azerbaijan. Huh? Azerbaijan. Gesundheit. No, Azerbaijan. Did you hear about that? What? Forget it. Beyonce. How much did they pay Beyonce? What, 20 million? Yeah. 20 million. Well, because Jay-Z is the NFL. See, they do it just like we do. Okay, let's vote for appropriating money to Ukraine. Okay, right. Okay, Zelensky, here it goes. It goes to you. He turns around, sends it right back. Thank you. So Jay-Z, works with the NFL. They pay her 20 million, well, 20 million because he's in charge. He turns around and goes to him. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Jay-Z and Beyonce, that's stupid. You see that dance? I can do this. I can't dance. It looks like one of those, remember Stand Up and Sing or Sit Down and Shut Up or whatever they're called, like the Johnny Man singers and Kathy Lee Crosby. Remember she was Kathy Gifford or what were those things called? Remember those things that would like Stand Up and Sing or America's Shout Out America or whatever. Those like really corny, I could do that. This is how bereft. And don't you love, this is my favorite. This is my favorite. And you'll never see anything about this. Have you noticed how many people who talk about race and blackness and the race and the white man and the whiteness? Have you noticed how people have their skins have been bleached over the years? And not just black folks. Indians, it's a huge business. Huge. Oh, yeah. Isn't that something? Have you noticed? Just look at pictures. I don't even have to tell you who. Over the years. Isn't that something? How did that happen? I'm not talking about people who are, because there's such a variety of hues and colors and Caucasoid negritude. There's all kinds of colors and shades and hues and that kind of thing. But it's fascinating over the years to think, can I ask you a question? Yeah. Did you have yourself bleached? Yeah. This was you then. This is you now. You've got blue eyes and straight hair and white skin, and you don't like white? I don't understand this. Remember the old days, white people who supposedly hated black people would get tans and get perms and, everything they can. And then white folks would, have you ever heard white people speak like they are from Compton or like they think Compton speak? Hey, bro, ain't no side though, no right. Toby, what are you talking about? It's just all of a sudden we're schizophrenic. We don't know who we want to be. But my favorite is they hate white people, white nationalism, white this, white that, white that. And yet, if you look at this, it's the most you'll never see any discussion on this at all. You don't think that's interesting? You don't think that's interesting? No. Really? There was an issue once years ago of there were how would I say this? Asians who had either blepharoplasty, the epicanthus was changed, and they wanted to look. There's one in particular, I'm not going to mention, you wouldn't even know her name, but she wanted to look less Asian. I'm fascinated by this. Look, you can do whatever you want. You could tattoo a third eye. I don't care. But don't give me this line of garbage about how you hate white people or you this and that. And then you turn around and not only that, you actually put different intracultural stigmata on people who are either too dark or too light or whatever it is. That's the part that gets me. You mean to tell me that you tend to put a preferred reference point on people of lighter skin when you're screaming at people for being white? I don't get it. Sparky says drugstores sold Palmer's skin lightener. Its tagline, for successful skin. Oh, dear God. You know what else is interesting, Sparky? The number of kids getting growth hormones. The number of kids in certain strata of society whose parents want them to grow more than anybody else in their family. That's all I'm going to say. Know it for a fact. Let me also tell you something. Mark my words. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know when, but you're going to hear this one night on TV. Just my opinion, not a physician, don't know anything about it. Just my pedestrian, stupid me opinion. One day you're going to hear a story that starts off like this. Remember Ozempic? Yeah. Remember everybody was getting Ozempic? Remember that? Everybody was losing all the weight? Yeah. Yeah. Well, we just found out. Really? Yeah. And God says, I never wanted you to lose a lot of weight fast. There was a reason why you put on weight. It was for starvation periods. It was so that you wouldn't starve. You were to hold fat. It's what I intended. But you never paid attention to me, did you? No. This is God speaking now. This is the part that just kills me. You know all that stuff you were given where to slow down anxiety? Yeah. You do know that when you knock the balance of something out of whack, it's going to show up something. You do know that, correct, right? You do know that. Yeah, okay. Just want to make sure. You do know that when you go like that. Uh-huh. Have you heard about this thing called Ozempic face? Have you heard about this? How about vaping? Popcorn lung? Have you noticed how fewer people vape today than they used to? Remember at first, everybody was vaping. And somebody said, it's not cigarettes. What? It's not cigarettes. Yeah, it's not cigarettes, but what are you doing? I'm taking it in my lungs. Well, it's not cigarettes. It's safer than cigarettes. A lot of people say, well, it's better than this. What does that mean? It's better than that. Why are you stabbing yourself in the foot? It's better than shooting. Yeah. This is where we are today. We are insane. We are insane. Speaking of the American culture, and by the way, Sparky, if you want to go buy this stuff, you got to go to a store. And by the way, remember this. Do you remember during COVID, you knew everything was safe when all of a sudden I started noticing. Remember that, honey, one day where they had all these hand sanitizers on sale? It's like, it's over. It's over. You go to a store, there was a big table in the middle. It's like, hand sanitizers. We're done with this. Remember the other one? Excuse me, do you have the hand sanitizer? Yes. Do you have the 0.95? Oh, we got the 0.6. Hand sanitizer. How are you? Yeah. How are you? What does this have to do with anything? I don't know. They would have the hand sanitizer on the side of your backpack. I hate backpacks. I hate backpacks. I hate backpacks. Any man who puts on a suit, gets ready, gets it tailored, and then puts some LL Bean mountaineering Sherpa like lawnmower size, nope. Nope. It's the clumsiest, stupidest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. A backpack? You walk, and then you get your suit fit, and you're walking with this thing pulling. Anyway, at the end of the backpack, you would have the water. Remember the old days when you would go all day without water? Seriously, maybe there would be a water fountain. Maybe if you had it. Remember we had a jug at home. Remember it was just a little jug. It was just a jug. We had this thing with this yellow stopper, and you had to fill it up. All you do is just fill it up, make sure it was just in case you needed water. That's it. We'd go hours. We were fine. Make sure your urine is clear. That's a myth, too. Then around in the late 70s, when Evian Naive came in, that's when it changed. And then everybody had water everywhere. Walk around with the water, sit down with the water, go to a meeting. Would you like a water? Yeah, thank you. Gotta hydrate. And you'd have in your lumberjack knapsack, your backpack, you had water, and your special container for the water. And then you would have hanging hand sanitizer. Because, because this stops COVID. This. Of course, you're antibacterial. You're resistant to nothing. When we were kids, one of the reasons why we had this wonderful thing called an immune system was we used to wallow in filth. Anyway, I knew it was over. I knew it was over when they had that. I knew it was done. I knew it was finished. I knew we were done with this. We go through this. There are these codes. There are these things where certain things are over with. They're just done. That's our American culture. By the way, it's not just here, too. It's everywhere. So it's one of those things. I just want to tell you, I'm just going to leave it at that. Meanwhile, bless his heart, Steve Bannon is walking around with that same jacket. I'm mesmerized. Is that, excuse me, Steve, did you ever watch that thing? Okay. You don't remember this. Chris Christie, when we had Hurricane Sandy or whatever, he wore this velour, kind of, again, an LL Bean kind of a thing, governor, and he wore this thing every day. I'm thinking, that thing must be the rankest. It reminds me of his jacket. Call me funny. Sparky says, the umbrella, people of color, is fairly new. Most of them were classified by anthropologists as Caucasoid or white, or Caucasian or white, before it was coined, presumably, to help weaponize race to control society. We would also get into things like Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and Negroid. Theoretically, there was the Holy Three, the Trinity. Mongoloid took on a completely different word, of course, ever since the Downs contingent said, wait a minute. And I always thought the Mongols must have said, wait a minute, what? Yes, we name people who have trisomy 21 Mongoloids after, we call it Mongolism. Why? Because they look like you. Now, Asians said, they didn't say Chinese, they said Mongol. Genghis Khan and the whole bit, which is a cool way to say it. So imagine going to a country and their trisomy 21 is called Americans. You have Americanism. Oh my God. Don't make fun of the American kid. He can't help it. We actually use this word mongoloid. Don't use it anymore. Downs and special. We always remember you weaponize words that way. I think it was, and also race is just artificial, has nothing really to do with DNA. It's more of a structural thing. But then later on, I remember as a kid, colored was absolutely, when I was the littlest since I remember, and I never knew racism until I lived in the Northeast. Even in the South, colored was Negro. Okay, later on, this was Dr. King and the Negro people, the so-called Negro, then it was Malcolm X. And I remember then there was Afro and then Afro-American. Everybody remember the pick? The cool black kids had this pick with a fist, and they put it in the back of their pants, and they would just go like that. And these fros were just, oh my God, they were just, remember when the Jacksons had it? It was about Angela Davis. It's like, wow. And you just picked out the fro, and you had this black pick with the hand, the black hand. Richard Pryor did a thing one time. He says, when I came out, I always want to be the white kids were cool because they had a pick, like a string of hair, and they would do like this, come out of the shower and go like this. He goes, I tried to do this, it broke my neck. Anyway, that was that, and that was Afro-American. Okay, black. James Brown, say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Oh my God, black. Can you say that? Can we say that? Yeah. Okay. Then African American, that was the best. African American, huh? Yeah, I'm African American. What country? Huh? You're African American? Yeah. From what country? Africa. No, it's a continent. What? What do you mean? Chad, South Africa? I don't know what you're talking. Egypt? Libya? What? Ricky Stanicky says, why hasn't anyone invented toilet paper for blind people? Oh, we've heard that before. But of life's imponderables. One of my favorite, by the way, I always wanted to do it. Why is there scented toilet paper? Who cares? Another great question. I didn't think of this, but I ask people, and you either immediately get the joke or you don't. And the question is, do you think the alphabet is in that order because of the song? Now, obviously. And people will say, and if you wait, if there's even 5 seconds, if you don't immediately get the joke, that's like the joke, what's another word for thesaurus? If somebody says dictionary, they don't get the joke. They don't get the joke. Sparky says they were selling quarts of ethyl alcohol, denatured with hydrogen peroxide, hand sanitizer for $1 on clearance. Quite a bargain. You know, it's funny, denatured alcohol and hydrogen peroxide. Peroxide was a wonderful thing. Did your mother, some mothers loved peroxide. Remember it foamed up? What is the purpose of this? I said my knee. You've got this, just this raw, I'll not forget that. I can see it now. A friend of mine, we're skateboarding, his mother takes a bottle of hydrogen peroxide, pours it over this open wound, and it starts foaming. It didn't really hurt. Remember, there was mercurochrome and was it methylate or something? There was this other one that burned, and they give you these things that burn. And the best example is soap and water, let it heal. No. We got to have that wonderful, you know. By the way, if ever you want to do an oral or ear douche, which is what the name of it is actually, for cerumen or earwax, kind of a hydrogen peroxide does a wonderful job. That's all. One of those things. Isn't this wonderful? Iodine was torture for kids. Remember that? Some iodine. Remember the red iodine? There was this things that they just put on you and like you would scream, and I don't know what it did. Nobody was interested in any kind of sense, or you just had this. You had alcohol, and then there was other stuff that just, but we were just tougher then. The first time you got stitches, remember that one? I remember one time as a kid we had paregoric. My mother had a big bottle of paregoric. We had to go sign for it. It's opium. Do you have a stomach ache? I have a stomach ache. Here, try this. Ew, that smells. No. Try it. Okay. And you thought, hey, how's your stomach ache? My what? All of a sudden, anyone here, Thelonious Monk, and wear a beret and be demanded to be called Ace. Sparky says James Brown was one of those celebrities who had a knack for connecting with regular people, where he didn't need a bunch of bodyguards. He was very approachable. Absolutely. He was one of the most important people, along with Johnny Cash and others, during a time. He was, remember there's a riot going on, or was it Sly and the Family Stone? But he did more. He was towards the end, he came out of his mind. He absolutely, I agree with you 100%. He did it. By the way, if ever you get a chance, see this movie called, it was when Ali fought Foreman in Africa. See the Spinners, I think the Crusaders. It's wonderful. Don't forget Bactine. Yes, Bactine. And we had just one size of Band-Aid. That was it. Maybe that little one. And I love that flesh tone, somebody said, but it was for white people, which I understood was a great source of indignity and the like. I loved great blood stories. One time I had you can't see this, a scar here. You can't see it. I had a bottle of Molson Golden beer. I put it in the freezer to chill it up. I forgot about it. So I came in and opened it up and it broke. So there was this handle. So as I grabbed the handle, the rest of it fell, and I did like this. I thought, oh no. That wasn't the part. When I pulled it out, it was one of these. So I remember walking in, I told my parents, I said, now don't get alarmed. It's this pulsing. I mean, it was. So I went, and I went to our doctor, this wonderful doctor. who happened to be on call, and we got stitched up. Later on, he and his family were gunned down. It was a horrible story, just by this freak escapee, the weirdest story. But I've got a great story there. That's a scar. This is a scar. Scars are the best. Always remember, those are your signature lines. As a kid, enema bags scared the hell out of me. There was something very, very wonderful. Everybody had that big orange. It looked like a hot water bottle. Remember the hot water bottle, that really thick rubber? But the enema, you just avoided this at all costs. With a long tube, and you could hang it on something. But there was that hot water bottle that was just, and it had a rubber that was so thick and so wonderful. How about, remember the old ice bags? It looked like a shower cap with this metal cap at the top. You fill it with ice, and I think it would conduct cold. You would burn. It would burn like you can't believe. Now we use what? Frozen peas, things like that. Ah, yes. Now my mother believed also, as a kid, everything was for a reason. I got a fever. That's good. What? That's good, because when you're febrile, that burns off the bug. I'm 107, I'm delirious. No, that's good. That's good. What? That's good. No help. Mom, I'm throwing up. That's good. That's good? Yes, because it's a natural purgative. This is nature. And I'm not going to get away with it. I'm trying. I can't keep any food down. I'm sick. I'm in there. That's good. That's good. Very naturopathic. Mom, I got diarrhea. I know. Good. Yes. Everything was good. I'm bleeding, bloodletting. We never did anything. But somehow we made it. Somehow we made it. I was telling somebody the other day, I had a friend of mine I've known, he's my first friend. I think we can't decide whether we were 3 or 5 when we met. We can't, it's hard to pin down. Maybe 3, maybe, who knows? But he was my first friend. And we had this game we played. And my father would be on the couch, he'd read the paper, or just chair. We'd climb on the roof, put a towel around our neck, because we were Superman, and we would jump. So he's there, and all of a sudden he sees, vroom, and he sees like a read paper. Vroom. So he gets up, we had these sliding glass doors. He said, God damn it, in a nice way. What are you kids doing? He goes, we're jumping off the roof. Okay. Not be careful. Don't break your neck. Don't put it on. I just want to know what you're doing. That was our game. And we had the ladder, this crickety ladder that sometimes it would lose. You'd climb up and, you're almost at the top of the ladder and it would, so you almost die on the ladder. But we went up and we were scared. Hold the ladder, and you put your leg up. We're kids. This was our game. We're on a roof. Some people's had gravel, so your foot kind of slept. Others had that kind of like that tar, whatever, paper or whatever you call it. And then we get to the edge. Jump! I'm afraid. Jump! It was weird, and we jump. And of course, no matter how much you spring, you had to kind of know you're just waiting to break a bone because you could compress. And that's what we did for hours. It was so much fun. I want to go. I want to go. That's our game. We didn't go like this. We were sitting, we're climbing on a roof and jumping off with a towel on our head because we were Superman. Thank you, God. Thank you for letting me live in a time when I can say, I did this. We had a woman in our neighborhood named Mrs. Wiley. Mrs. Wiley had a tree. She was the greatest lady. She always let people just come and we just went in her backyard. Anytime she was there, not there, just go in. You kids can use it. She had a tree and it went out into the street. It was this oak. Wow, the wires came through it and then getting down was like, how in the fuck do I get down? Climbing up was one thing. And there was no way. Put your leg up. I'm scared. Shut up. That was it. As far as everybody eventually got down. Thank you, God. Thank you for letting me jump off roofs and climb trees. It seems so stupid then. It seemed like it was like we were just, oh, poor us. Somebody said the umbrella test. You're right. You're right. Somebody jumped from a 10-foot deck into a 4-foot deep pool. Look at this. Christopher says, drove my mom's 63 Corvair up the street and stuffed in the ditch when I tried to do a 3-port turn. A long lunch. I was 12 years old at the time. Oops, mom was not happy. You drove your family's car. You were 12. They didn't kill you. They didn't beat you. You know what? That's great. That was great. We used to have this thing too, where whenever we would go sometimes to, I never liked cemeteries, but there's one way you could get us to go to our grandparents' cemetery if you let us drive. My mother thought, no particular, we had a 66 Chevy Impala. Here you go. Here's the keys. Can barely see it. We're driving. You know, because they have the little driving in the cemetery. I mean, how appropriate. Something happens in any event. Thank you for this. Thank you. Isn't this fun? Isn't this fun? Remember something. We always have to maintain our sense of fun. Do you hear what I'm saying? We have to laugh. Life's a bitch. Sparky said hydrogen peroxide is good for initial cleaning and disinfecting of a wound, but don't use it afterwards as it inhibits healing. Yes. Apply Neosporin and Band-Aid and change it every few days. Thank you. You always have these wonderful... Sparky's so good. You'll say something and you'll say, I one time did Neosporin, that's not bacteria, is very good, but for the natural bitter. Thank you very much. A little bit later. Dehiscence is a problem when a particular scar is called a cicatrice, as the Cubans would say, cicatrix, or the scar formation would find, and of course the collagen formation in the tendrils. And that's why you should know about torturing. And it was Ignat Semmelweis who in 1820 decided to wash hands. Thank you, Sparky. Sparky did something too. I love when Sparky's either grandfather, great uncle, or something was responsible. My great-great-grandfather, Sparko, whatever it was George Washington's manservant's buddy. And then he was with George Washington, and he was responsible for basically giving George the notion of the Civil War. And he just these wonderful tangents. It's wonderful. Look at this. How many kids were hurt after watching Mary Poppins and the Umbrella? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. How about this Crossman pellet gun that I had? There was a dog that used to come in my parents' yard. He used to leave a gift, and my father was furious. I said, I know who it is. It's a dog across the street. If I see that dog, I'm telling you. And I know this is wrong. I know this is wrong, and I'm not advocating it. But I decided one time to use a Crossman and take matters into my own hands. And sure enough, one day I saw there was a dog right in mid-act, and I grabbed the Crossman, which I kept by the door, and safety off, went out, and you heard this. That was the sound. And then worked like a charm. Pavlov was right. Never came back. Never came back. All right, my friends. Remember one thing. If ever you go to the doctor and he says, I'm going to try something, please run. This looks like one of those, whenever the Russians allegedly test their new ICBM, that weird formation. I think I'm talking too much. Thank you very much, my friends. Thank you. Sparky, you were absolutely gold standard today, my friend. Spandex, thank you. Thank you. Ricky Stanicky, thank you, everybody. Marcus Aurelius, you were wonderful. Have a great and glorious day, my friend. What was that sound again? I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do it. But I can... I'll tell you one day about the dog. It's terrible. It's on some other time. I hope the statute of limitations has run. My friends, follow Mrs. L at Lynn's Warriors. Please remember, we're all in this together, brother. Make sure you sign up. 87% of those people watching us right now on Lionel Nation are not subscribed for reasons I don't understand. And until we meet again, my friends, remember this wonderful day. Remember this wonderful message. Remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Ta-ta.